So I guess it's got to be a car video because I don't have time to stop and review this, and I need to. Welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott, and I am in a parking lot, and people are staring at me. Pretty funny. So if you like what you hear here, and I did say hear, hit the subscribe button, tap the bell for notifications. I usually do sci-fi and fantasy reviews and breakdowns, but I also like some other topics that I might be getting into in the future. So you'll have to subscribe to keep up on it. Let's do this. So Mandalorian, Season 1, Chapter 4, Sanctuary. I did do a quick review, like a quick reaction, and I have to be honest, every time I see something, the very first thing I do is enjoy it. Kinda. Like, I won't see the bad in it right away, and then it takes a little while for it to set in and for me to realize. Now, with this one, I am not a fan of Baby Yoda. Some people know that, some may not. I think it's Disney's cash grab. I think it's a ploy, and I don't appreciate what they're trying to do there. We were told that The Mandalorian was going to be this, back to Star Wars, but more gritty. And it's turning in. This episode made me feel like it was Disney in control and not Favreau and Filoni. So I don't know, but let's just go through it real quick. So we start off with this peaceful little village, fishing village. They're farmers, but they farm like blue shrimp or shrimp craw dogs, something like that. And they are, having a gay old time. Kids are playing, everybody's enjoying life, and then they hear something, boom, almost like Jurassic Park, like the T-Rex thing. And so you sense something's coming, and everybody's like, run, and there's like a shot. Like a shot across the bow, I'm sorry, people are pulling up and looking at me. There's a shot, so everyone's like, run! But the little girl, there's a pretty lady, and her daughter was playing. Well, she can't get back to her mom, and she fell down. So the mom goes running, grabs the kid. Too late, they can't get away, so they jump into one of the hatchery ponds, and they hide under a basket. And then we see these raiders, and I don't know the name of the species, but they're English bulldogs. That's Balchinians almost. And they come in, and man, if stormtroopers don't have good aim, these guys did not kill one person that I saw. They did blow up a droid or destroy a droid instead of taking it and making money off of that. They knocked over stuff. They took some things. I guess they took their harvest. We find out later. So that is that. And then they just go back into the mist, into the woods. This is like a forest world. I had the name somewhere, but I don't remember what it's called. It is something like Sargon. So I don't know if we go to the credits then, but then we go to the Mandalorian Flying. All right. And he's looking for a place to hide him and the yodeling. And it's cutesy. He tells the yodeling, don't touch that button. And it touches it. Don't touch that button. One thing I noticed in this episode is that, at least in prior episodes, they weren't talking to each other. Now he's talking to the baby, explaining everything he's doing. So I guess that's for us. I kind of liked that he didn't do that earlier. We kind of had a guess in a way, but I don't know. It's the pros and cons. It's catch-22. I get upset if they don't give me enough info, and now they're giving me too much. So that's me. So he explains they're going to Sargon. It's like, there's been no Imperial leftovers or even rebels, I believe. It's a very desolate type of planet. So they go there, they land, and they end up, stay here, Baby Yoda. I mean, don't get me wrong. The thing makes me laugh. I can't stand what it represents to me. And what it represents to me is Disney. And it represents, we need something cute in here that'll grab the kids or women ages, 18 to 40 or, it's lame. And that's not being sexist. It's just it's cute. It's a baby. It's Yoda. I mean, most people I know like it, except for Ryan and myself. I think everybody else from RK Outpost, Ryan, what up? Everybody else, at least likes it. I don't. I think it's a cash grab. It's Disney's way of enforcing their stupid, ideology on us that, we're going to have a dark show with no blood and no death. So, whatever. But, so I figured out that, I can't stand it. Don't get me wrong, the show is entertaining at times, but I just don't like the direction it's going in. And this is another reason why. They get into Baby Yoda, they come off the ship. This isn't the reason. It's actually cute. He tells him to stay there. The next thing you know, he's right behind him, and he's like, all right, come with me. And the little dude walks with him. So, keeps up. They get to a cantina. And when they walk in, the first thing he realizes is there is a powerful looking woman. Everybody else didn't mean anything to him, but that powerful looking woman, he was worried about her. So he paid the barkeep for bone broth for the kid, and which he calls, the yodeling the kid, and the man, the Mando guy, Mando. I know Gary at Nerdrotic calls him the man, so I think I'm going to do that too because I can't stand Mando. So the man, he throws the lady a little extra chang cheddar and says, when did she get here? And like a week ago. So he assumes that she's there, hunting him and the baby. Why she would have got there before him makes no sense why he thinks this, but it is what it is. And then as the lady walks away, she's gone. Okay. This muscular, fine woman, specimen of a woman. So he starts to follow her. Finally, though, we find that his mask is not just sunglasses, but it actually, it could see like maybe a heat signature of some sort, but he sees footprints. So thank God it does something other than block, UV light. So he's following it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. She comes out of nowhere, jumps down on him. Now, it's a great fight. They're beating the crap out of each other. It ends up in a stalemate, like a Mexican standoff, where they're both pointing guns at each other, and they look over, and there's the kid drinking bone broth. Like, what are you guys doing, wrestling? But what gets me on this one, I want to know what species she is. She looks human, all right? There's a lot of humanoids in the Star Wars universe, but they do have different physiology. And she must have one where if you punch Beskar metal that has been smelted and hammered and built into armor with your bare hands, full force, your hand doesn't shatter. So that's the one thing. Like, he barely kept up with her. She was throwing him around like a rag doll. Yes, she is a actual Gina Carano is an actual MMA fighter. So yes, I believe she's powerful. Like, I know she's powerful, but that was OP. That was overpowered, man. Like, unless they explain to me she's a certain species that has, superhuman strength. So then, so they go in and they explain, misunderstanding. I was a shock trooper, I think it was, or some type of shock trooper. I'm sorry. I don't have time. I ran through it twice and really quick, and I didn't write down enough notes, but she was on the resistance side, and Battle of Endor, she was there, I believe. She was also mopping up the remnants of the Empire, and when they became like peacekeepers in different places, that wasn't her gig, so she left. And she thought that he was after her because he looked like a bounty hunter, and there must have been a bounty on her. So, misunderstanding. But she's like, but she gots to go, and one of us can't stay here on a whole planet. He had to leave, even though they had an understanding. Had to go. Not just like to another side of the planet, but off-world. And he was just like, okay. I didn't like that. So, he's a Mandalorian, man. He's hard ass. Like, what? So he goes back to his ship. He's working on his ship, and lo and behold, two of the farmers found him, and they have a little bag of gold, and they're like, we need your help. We need your help. These raiders are after us. And he's like, that's not enough money for me, blah, blah, blah. But they're like, oh, we'll go back to our desolate little place. And he's like, desolate? So he's like, you got room and board? All right, let me grab that. It takes the change, throws it to Cara Dune. I know this ain't a lot, but let's go help these people out. So they start to track the raiders, and they realize that they have large tracks, okay? And Cara Dune, being a soldier, realized it was an ATST, which we've seen in the universe before. We haven't seen it yet, but we've seen it in the universe before. And she was like, we can't take this thing out. There's nothing here that can penetrate it. Yet, I swear she said she was on the Battle of Endor and Ewoks were tripping these son of a bitches and building log rams that would crack on each side and destroy it. So this is only 5 years later. I don't know if the technology got that much better, but okay. So they don't have a weapon that could destroy it, or they don't have enough trees on this planet that's, mostly woods and jungle. Okay. So he's like, you guys got to move. And they're like, we're going to stay and fight. And he's like, has anybody ever shot a gun? And lo and behold, the lady from the earlier one has used a weapon before. So I might be jumping the gun a little bit. I might be getting some of this stuff backwards. So she's the only one. We don't find out why. We don't know why, but whatever. She's the only one. Now, there is a scene. They decide they have to train him. Now, I don't know if this is that before or after, but they set up a little, barn for him. It looked nice to me. And the lady brings food for the yodeling and him. The little girl comes in, takes the little yodeling outside, and he gets a little nervous, and she's like, don't worry, he's safe. And she's like, when was the last time you took off your hard hat and helmet? And he was like, since I was a child, and we find out that the Mandalorian saved him after his parents were murdered. Something I didn't bring up in the past, I don't think, when he was having that flashback of him and his parents, now that we know it's his parents, and they were wearing like a red or a purplish red robe. Is that in Star Wars? I don't know about anything in the EU, but I know in our world it means royalty. So was he of a royal line? I wonder if that's going to come back to us. I wonder if he's some form of royalty. But a Mandalorian saved him and raised him, and he hasn't taken off his helmet in front of anyone else. And she asks, well, what happens if you do? And he says, then I can't put it back on. So she's like, understand. And they leave. Now, 30 feet away, the kids are outside playing, and she walks out there, and he seems to just stand in a window and take it off. And you don't see him from behind, back shot. But still, no one's going to look. Come on, people. So anyways, we get to the training montage. It reminds me of an old samurai movie where the samurai trains the villagers to defend themselves. There's other movies like this where trains them to shoot, and they're shooting, and of course they're missing everything. They can't, hit it. The sharp sticks they're working on can't hit, they're throwing them around like idiots, except for the mother, who I never got the name. She can shoot, man. She didn't miss one shot. The thing's swinging around. She's nailing it. So somehow she had combat training. Maybe come into an episode down the line. But so they train. They build embankments. They build in one of the hatchling ponds. They dug real deep, and their idea was have the ATST step in it, fall, and then they'll blow it up or something. Still don't know why you can't trip the damn thing. But they decide that. And, and the Mando and her are going to go and start a fight, pick a fight. So he puts on his helmet again, the helmet cam again, and they find them, and they're beating, killing them. And they blow up, some type of vats they had in this tent of like glowing liquid. I thought that might be spice or something. Maybe that's like the spice or some type of great beer. I don't know. They never tell us that either. But they start getting... They get out there before it explodes, and all of a sudden the ATST lights up, red infrared eyes, and they're running. And they bring them back, and now the AT-AT walks up, and they're in their fortification, ready to fight. Just another step, and it'll fall in the pond. Well, guess what? It looks down, like it realizes it, and stops. Now, it looks down like it realizes it and stops. So I thought, okay, that plan didn't work. How are we going to do this? So the thing puts on its lights, and everybody's hiding except two dumb men, and it shoots but misses them completely and blows up a building. So whatever her name's, Cara Dune, had to take it into her own hands. She takes the Mando's weapon, takes his phallic symbol, his manhood, his weapon, jumps over the thing, and starts blasting at the thing from the water, from maybe a hatchery closer, and it can't get an angle on her, so it keeps like looking like it's going to step, but it doesn't want to step. Now, if it knows this is a trap, I don't know why it doesn't back up, come around and shoot at her. But they keep shooting, and now the villagers are shooting at the dog face guys. None of the villagers, I think, die in this. I mean, it's just, they take the damn thing down. They blow it up. They kill some of the raiders. The raiders leave. They never come back. So, yay. Now, in and out of this episode, the yodeling is, playing with the kids. It eats a frog again and puts it halfway in and spits it out because the kid's like, ugh. So you could tell that the yodeling's loving hanging out with these kids and stuff. And that's great. And the man decides, like, I'm going to leave the baby here with that woman. And the woman's like, okay, but you could take off the mask and no one will know who you are. Even Cara Dune says that. No one will know who you are. You can live your rest of your life as a farmer. And if you really need it, put that armor back on and kick some ass. So he's thinking about it, but he's thinking, I got too much heat on me. And lo and behold, boop, 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 the freaking fobs again. So this kid has been marked, okay? I don't know why he didn't think these fobs would come back. Like, did he kill every bounty hunter that was in his own guild? I don't think he did. He didn't know that. He left before the battle was even over. So why would he think they can just stop? And he knows that the kid is marked. So how are you going to leave the kid there? That's the part that pissed me off the most. Like, these fobs are in action. God dang it, man. So the guy lines up his shot. He has that little yodeling in his crosshairs. And boom! It doesn't die. Cara Dune somehow got around this guy, sensed him somehow. Mando was too involved in, his own hormones, but she was, even though she was drinking, she was ready to get, pounce on the guy, and she killed him. So him and the baby had to leave. I don't know. This show is okay. It had a very Shane vibe. If you ever seen the old Western Shane, Shane comes, teaches the people, protects them, and then leaves. Clint Eastwood, I think The Preacher did the same thing. It's like the old Western vibes. What would have been awesome if the yodeling died. That would have made this like, holy crap, this show's not scared. But it's Disney, okay? It's not Game of Thrones. It's not anything even close to that. They will not kill off a main character. They didn't even kill like third-rate villagers. So no one's going to be subject to death. We never truly have to invest in thinking someone's going to die. So what's the point? Really, that's why I'm upset. What's the point? They should have killed the baby yodeling. Or at least killed the woman. Killed somebody. But nope. Just the bad guy got killed. And that was it. And that's why this show, it will never be the great show everyone thinks it is. Okay? Because it will not step over that line, and it's staying cookie cutter, and it's staying Disney, and the yodeling will be the cute little guy, and they're all going to win at the end. It's not The Empire Strikes Back. It's not even close to that. And I guess that's Star Wars. I come from the world of Game of Thrones, of A Song of Ice and Fire. And I look into things way too deep, where an eye color can mean, a vision about people's eye color could tell you about emperors from times past, from the Dawn Age. But it is what it is. It's a passable show. Yes, there was a little bit of wokeness involved in it, but not to the point where it took away from it. It's just something I noticed. But there are no true stakes, and that's why I'll probably never really care about this show. But tell me what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching this long. If you have, it's been a long video. Please like and share, because that's the only way I'm going to grow. Let's hit 500, halfway to cash, halfway to pay is the live stream I'm going to do when I get to 500, and hopefully some big dogs would come in and play with me. That sounded weird. And if you, if they start calling you names, they've already lost the war. Everybody, have a great night.